The gallows at Fort Smith National Historic Site in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Fort Smith has often been called hell on the border. Permit no innocent man to be punished, but let no guilty man escape. Judge Isaac C. Parker, 1896. By Parker's heavy hand, we are assured no guilty man escaped, and he likely broke the necks of a few innocents. For 21 years he sentenced 160 people to death. 14 of those swinging from the rope had no right of appeal. Let the hauntings begin. We are assured to find a few unsettled souls haunting the gallows outside the old courthouse in Fort Sill, Arkansas. Yes, there are still gallows there, and it is often said that ghosts of the condemned still roam the area. Standing in the reconstructed gallows is a spine-tingling experience for all visitors who dare to linger there with the dead. Your neck might even feel a bit sore as you walk to your car. If your friends aren't talking to you afterward, you should turn around and ensure you are not hanging from a rope. I am sure the dead would enjoy your company. Several places at Arkansas Tech University in Russellville, Arkansas are haunted, and a couple of urban legends could explain the hauntings people experience. One legend says that Caraway Hall is built upon a Cherokee burial site. The second legend is of a student that committed suicide inside Caraway Hall. Students often talk of hearing noises in Caraway Hall's attic. The piano in Witherspoon Hall plays itself as the practice room is often haunted by the ghost of a former student. Tucker Coliseum is haunted by a star basketball player who was killed in a car accident. The mischievous ghost is reported to leave basketballs scattered all over the court. The Bauxite Historical Association Museum in Bauxite, Arkansas is reported to be one of the state's most haunted places. Disembodied footsteps are heard in various places, and there is a horrifying story where one female employee experienced a ghost jump on her back as she was leaving work. Chances are she never returned. Would you? Let us know in the comments section. And please click the subscribe button. Old Redfield Road in Sheridan, Arkansas is another spooky place where visitors have experienced paranormal events, sometimes even while driving. Reportedly, electrical devices such as flashlights and radios will stop working if you have the courage of getting close enough to the area. Residents and visitors alike have often seen ghosts strolling along Old Redfield Road and wandering the cemetery. The ghost story about Highway 365 in Woodson is very popular and will haunt your dreams. It's not recommended to pick up hitchhikers on Highway 365 because there are several vanishing hitchhikers there. If you can't help but help the stranded, it is best to avoid frightened-looking young girls standing in the rain, especially if they are wearing white dresses. She may not look dangerous, and you are sure she is not a ghost, right? If you do pick her up, don't be shocked if she disappears when you return her safely to her home. If you are paying attention, you have been warned. Highway 365 is rumored to be the most haunted road in all of Arkansas. Do you want to know why? In 1973, on a bridge near Wrightsville, Arkansas, a man picks up a girl who was banged up and in poor shape, claiming she was in a car accident. When the gentleman returned the bruised and cut-up girl to her house, she abruptly disappeared from his car. He knocked on the door and was met with a father whose daughter had died on a bridge near Wrightsville about a month before. Another man picked up a young woman in Woodson, Arkansas who was on a bridge and drove her back to her house. The girl wanted him to knock on the door of the dark house, and when he knocked, a woman opened the door. The gentleman explained how he brought her daughter home, and she told the story of how her daughter had died the year before on the same night. At this point, the girl was nowhere to be seen. Another vanishing act of the dead. Another man picked up a girl in the Woodson, Arkansas area and drove her to a house in Redfield. When he opened the car door for the girl, she suddenly disappeared. The gentleman nonetheless knocked on the door and met a grieving father who expounded on how she would find someone to drive her home every year on the anniversary of her death. The most shocking of these stories was of a man picking up a girl on a bridge in the rain. The girl was soaked to the bone, therefore he put his coat around her. When he arrived at the house, she instructed him to drive her to. She had disappeared, taking his coat with her. He continued to the door and met with the dead girl's mother. The gentleman later visited her grave, where he found his missing coat on her headstone. Are you scared? I am, but it gets worse. There is more than just the girl in white. There is another girl who runs out in front of cars, and when you strike her, there is nobody to be found. There is also another male hitchhiker who will talk to you about the second coming of Christ. The common thread of these stories, and yes, there are more, is that they all happened on Highway 365 in Arkansas, near Woodson and Redfield. These frightening stories can be traced back to the 1950s. Another bridge area in Arkansas that will scare your pants off has been around since 1930 and is called Cotter Bridge. This bridge was renovated in 2004 and is still a marvel of architecture and still the largest marsh rainbow arch bridge in existence. The town of Cotter is a small town with amazing trout fishing and frightening activity under the lovely Cotter Bridge. If you visit the bridge at night, you may be shocked to hear the sound of children playing at night. More specifically, children are often spotted playing on the railroad near Cotter Bridge in the middle of the night. There is no evidence to say that the children seen at night are ghosts, but who would let their child play on a railway at night? Then when you consider that Cotter is a small town of less than 1,000 level-headed people, you start to consider there is something to the claim of ghosts in the area. Who would let a child play on a railway bridge near a large river at night unsupervised? Could it be Satan? Another ghost story about Cotter Bridge is not about ghost children playing, but of the ghost of a woman chased by dogs. Could they be the hounds of hell? You will think so if you encounter them. Of course, not a soul knows who the woman may be, but I am sure her experience was total horror and suffering. The reports of baying dogs right at her heels leave no time for questioning, right? I mean, do you have the guts to ask her? We want to stress that the Cotter Bridge is a wonderful, inspiring engineering feat that is rich in history. This is also a beautiful place to go fishing and enjoy. Although we are unable to confirm the existence of ghosts in the area, it's best to enjoy the bridge mentioned in the daytime. In Jonesboro, Arkansas, a home built in 1926 was once owned by a man named Jimmy Lyle. Locals who live in the neighborhood talk of good-natured spirits around the house. Are ghosts good-natured? That sounded new to me. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section. The ghost of Mr. Lyle himself is even said to be seen walking around the house. The house was remodeled in 2006, and carpenters claimed they heard a laughing child running around upstairs, but when they investigated, there was nobody there. A family that resided in the house in the 1970s told a chilling story of their daughter waking up and seeing a little boy at the foot of her bed grinning at her. She screamed and peed herself a little as the apparition ran straight through a wall. Is there another railroad haunting coming up? I am staying away from railroads in Arkansas. How about you? Please like, share, and subscribe. A terrifying swinging light wanders the railroad crossing at Murray-Saline Road in Crossett, Arkansas. People in the area say the unexplained light is the spirit of a man decapitated by a train. Locals allegedly say the man is searching for his head. Have you seen it? The King Opera House in Van Buren is also said to be haunted. The ghost of a murdered young actor who planned to elope with a young woman, much to her father's chagrin, is said to haunt the building. The unfortunate actor was allegedly murdered by the enraged patriarch, and his ghost has been seen in the building to this day. The Avon Cemetery in DeQueen is said to be haunted by a ghostly mother and child. According to legend, a woman sat her baby on the edge of an old well while drawing water, and the baby fell in and drowned. The mother's ghost has been seen in the cemetery, and some claim that if you drop a rock into the well in the cemetery's center at night, you will hear a baby cry. The Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs is one of the most well-known haunted hotels in America. Previously a hospital, the hotel housed patients who allegedly entered the facility alive but never left due to poor medical practices. The building is said to be haunted by the ghosts of unfortunate patients. The Allen House, located in Monticello, was built around 1900 and has been the site of numerous hauntings. The most frequently mentioned ghost is that of a young woman who haunts the upper and lower floors of the mansion. The specter is said to vanish and reappear in various locations throughout the house. On the upper floors of the house, guests are said to have heard disembodied footsteps and voices. Visitors to Pea Ridge Military Park have reported hearing ghostly musket fire in the middle of the night. Some claim to have seen the ghosts of the Battle of Pea Ridge on the premises and to have been followed by unseen spirits. Despite claims to the contrary, no one understands why guests at the Arlington Resort in Hot Springs reportedly see ghosts dressed in period attire wandering the halls. Wine bottles are said to fall off the shelves by themselves. Lights reportedly flicker without provocation, and Room 824 is said to be especially active. This could be one of Arkansas's most haunted locations. The Springfield Bridge Des Arc Bridge, an iron bowstring truss bridge that once crossed Catherine Creek, is said to be haunted. Visitors claim to have heard ominous noises, a girl's scream, and a baby's cry, but no source of the sounds could be found in the area where the bridge once stood. The bridge was restored and relocated to a cove at Beaverfork Park Lake in Conway in 2016 to 2017. Residents near Primrose Lane in Paragould claim to have seen the ghosts of a man and his dog in the area and nearby woods. According to the story, the man allegedly shot himself, and his canine companion died later. Some residents on Rogers' outskirts claim to have seen a ghost-like rider on horseback riding down Raider Road. That's impressive. Arkansas even has its Headless Horseman legend. Although the original Bono Bridge was demolished in 2011, the area where it stood is said to be haunted. According to local legend, people would stand on the bridge and gaze down at the railroad tracks below. As a train approached, the onlooker felt the sudden terror of being hit. Strange noises and apparitions have been reported in the area where the bridge once stood. According to legend, eerie ghostly lights appear in Woodson at night. Many people who have driven on Woodson Lateral Road after dark claim to have seen these eerie lights and to have been followed by them for an indefinite period. Despite being replaced in 2005, the Wolf Bayou Bridge in Scott remains a popular haunting for Arkansas ghost hunters. According to legend, a mother and her young child died after driving off the bridge. Visitors who come here at night may see an ethereal figure in white or even encounter unexpected vehicle trouble after crying out, "Mama Lou, I've got your baby!" Some claim that a haunting light can be seen along the railroad tracks in Gordon, Arkansas at various times during the night. According to legend, the light comes from the lantern of a railroad employee's ghost. The circumstances surrounding the employee's death differ. Some say he was killed in a fight near the tracks, while others say he was hit by a train. Even though the Tilly Willie Bridge was demolished a few years ago, the legend lives on. According to the legend, a woman killed herself and her children after driving off the bridge nearly 40 years ago. At night, the ghostly death car was frequently seen driving across the bridge. The driver's ghost is said to still haunt the area today. The most well-known and terrifying of all Arkansas urban legends, the Fouke Monster is similar to Bigfoot, but far more sinister. This local legend has inspired 2 films and several terrifyingly well-told stories. When you're feeling brave, you might want to get out of the house and visit these haunted places in Arkansas. Share your experience and what you've seen with those of us who have visited these locations. You may be surprised to learn that someone else has had a similar experience to yours. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the bell icon to be notified when we upload new videos. Thanks for watching.